Hey folks, welcome back. We're here once again with our Sapphire Radeon 390 Nitro. It's a mouthful. That you may remember doesn't work. And the last time we looked at this card, we determined that the reason it doesn't work is that we had a short to ground on the near of our two 8-pin 12-volt power connectors that we were able to clear by removing the lower of these two SMD caps. Notice that I removed both of them, and I removed the second one off camera because I needed to know what the capacitance of it was, and it's 10 microfarads, for anybody wondering. That design jives perfectly with the datasheet for our phase drivers, so we know that that's what these are. You may remember that we had to call it a day at the time because we didn't have replacement parts, but DigiKey was able to come through for us pretty quickly, and now we've got our replacement capacitors and our replacement fuses here for the blown fuses on this side of the card right here. And we're ready to go ahead and get these guys off the board and new ones installed, and then our new caps installed, and then we can test the card. So there's no sense wasting any more time. Let's get after removing and replacing some of these components. Now before we do these, and we're going to do the fuses first because they're going to be the hardest part of this whole process, I think, we're going to make a little heat shield for our connectors here so that the heat from our hot air wand doesn't melt the plastic in these connectors. I would assume that this material is able to withstand the heat of melting the lead-free solder that's holding these guys on, but I don't know that for sure, and we're going to play it safe and provide a little heat shield for them. So let's go ahead and do that now. What I'm going to do is take a piece of aluminum foil here, like this, and we're going to wrap it around the connectors, like so. And then we'll bend it over like this. There we go. And that should keep the hot air off of our plastic parts so that all we have to do is heat this part of the board up. The rest of the board has enough copper and it's far enough away that I don't think there's anything sensitive in that area that we need to worry about. But that we definitely wanted to be careful with because it would totally suck if we got all of the rest of the components on this fixed and then we melted the power connector. With that done, we're ready to get some flux on there. And we'll put on one Lewis Rossman's worth of flux on this end, and another Lewis Rossman's worth of flux on this end, some in the middle there. Now we're ready to heat up our hot air station and go to town removing those. Alright, with our dead fuses removed, we can clean these pads up, and for that we're going to use a regular soldering iron and some solder wick. So the basic theory here is that we want to get all of the lead-free solder off and replace it with leaded solder, which melts at a lower temperature, and it's just easier to deal with. So in order to do that, we need to use a little bit of solder wick, and we'll just use the soldering iron to kind of lift it up and scrape it off in our cleaner. So let's get a little more flux on there. And let's turn the card this way. Okay, so there we go. We have beautifully clean pads. And now we can go about soldering our new fuses into place. And I'm going to try to use the soldering iron for this and not the hot air, because I really prefer the soldering iron. I don't like to use the hot air if I don't have to. So we're going to give this a shot with just the soldering iron. And the worst case scenario is that doesn't work very well and we got to bust out the hot air. So we'll grab us a replacement fuse. And these look slightly different, but they should be basically the same. Here we go. We got two fuses. Let's get them lined up here. How do we want to do this? We will go this way. Alright, so there's one end of it. Not my straightest soldering job ever, but I think it'll work. Now we do the other end. And we're going to have to turn it this way for this one. This. Okay, as I said, that was going to be our hardest part of this whole process. Anyway, we've got the fuses on there. So now, let's zoom you out. Grab our multimeter and make sure that we've now got continuity to our 12-volt rail from the connector here, as we expect. So we're in continuity mode. One pin there, one pin here. Okay, so there we go. Remember before, we had 50 mega ohms or something. So this tells us that we've now got continuity through our fuses. Let's also make sure we didn't kill these fuses in the process. They connect to here. Oh, that's no good. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So hopefully this is just some schmutz on there that'll clean right off and we didn't melt that fuse. But we've got those on there, and now we're ready to do the caps on the back that actually killed the card in the first place. So let's flip it over. And this we're going to have to do with the hot air. There's just no way. But first we do need to clean these up, just like we did the pads for the fuses. So let me zoom you in again. Okay, so let's get some flux on there. These pads are small enough that the wick should work really good on this. There we go. Once you get the board hot enough, the old solder comes right off. Now our pads are clean, and we can put just a little bit of our leaded solder on there. There, 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 and there. Now, we're ready to install our capacitors on there. Hot air on. Let's get some more flux on there. Get our caps roughly where they need to go. Now, we heat the board until the solder melts. There we go. There's one. There. All right. Next, we let the board cool down and we test our resistances to make sure that we haven't created a new short. Then we can, I guess, plug the card in and see if it works. So I'm going to let the board cool down for a little while, and we'll reconvene in a minute to see if it works. Okay, just a minute later, and we can test our resistance here from our 12-volt input to ground, and what we expect to see is single-digit thousands that climb up for a while, and then should eventually start falling back down towards 10K. See that? There we go. Beautiful. That means we've not introduced a new short circuit, and our circuit is, as far as we can tell, repaired for now. We don't know if the card's going to work yet, but at least that part of the circuit is not broken. So we'll sanity check that against the other one that was never damaged. We should see roughly the same thing. Yep. So, now I think it's time to plug the card into the test bench and see if it works. But first, I should probably find a heatsink of some sort for the die, just to be safe. And for that, I'm going to have to dig through my boxes of random crap. So we may have to reconvene what's tomorrow for me, but for you is just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ready? All right, folks. It's the next day, and I try as I might, I could not find a heatsink that would fit this card. I have some for NVIDIA cards that are like little fist-sized thing, but I don't have any that'll fit an AMD card. So we're just going to roll with the stock heatsink that came with the card. Now, I'm going to have to remove the heatsink almost immediately, assuming that this works, but I want to make sure that I don't damage the die if the card actually starts and runs. So we're erring on the side of caution and installing a heatsink on it. So I just need to put a little bit of heatsink grease on our die here. Right. And then we'll go ahead and get it on our heatsink. And we're not even going to bother installing more than a couple of the fasteners. We just need it held in place. Not even plugging in the fan. So we got our heatsink installed. Remember, we checked our rails for shorts yesterday, and we didn't find any. So now we're ready to plug the card in and give it a test. We're just about ready. I've got my card plugged in. I've got my, set this to volt mode. I've got my voltmeter here in case something doesn't work and we need to test the card for dead rails. I've got my test bench, power supply on. Cross your fingers. Let me get my hand on the kill switch here. Ready? Wait, hang on. Are we actually on? Oh, no. There we go. Okay. Ready? Fire in the hole. Nothing. Nothing. Oh! And there we go. We've got a picture. Beautiful. So there we go. We've got a picture. Now we're ready to take the card back apart, clean the flux residue off, and make new thermal pads and put the card back together. Anyway, I've got some cleaning to do, so you don't go anywhere. Alright folks, card's back together, and as you can see, it's working properly. I was able to get the drivers installed, and the card runs just fine. We can see 3D Mark Fire Strike here, and in a previous run I was able to get a score of about 9,000, which I think is in line for this system. This system has a FX 8350 CPU, which is kinda weak in comparison to a graphics card that's powerful, and that's dragging our score down. But all things considered, I think we're doing pretty good. I think we can call this a win, and we can say that our card is fixed and working properly and ready to play some games. So I'm going to go play some games, and if you're working on your own R9 390 at home, I hope this helped you out, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.